Alright, hello there YouTube. This is Mr. Pokemon 907 and welcome to this is just for proofing. That's why I'm gonna be doing this. Let me just quickly save this here. You know that this is my account and nobody else's. Alright, just gonna close this off quickly. You can see the order that I've been using my apps. System is online. I've got reason for that as well. Alright, so let's go here. Mine. I still got this. Not showing full screen. So weird how my camera's positioning right now. It never positions like this. Never had it doing like this before. It's standing upright, but I wouldn't say this is safe. Like, I don't want it falling over, right? I never had to do this before. It's just, that's like perfect distance to screen, everything, but I don't feel safe recording it like this at all. This could easily fall over any second. I do not want that happening. Alright, so sorry about that weird little intro, but so I just thought to myself that I really do need to do this. Alright, so there's this thing called Tera raid. Tera raid battles, fights, whatever you want to call them, in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. And from time to time, the Pokemon Company releases these events. These starter Pokemon, whatever else, just random Pokemon that have what you call the Mightiest Mark on them. They're 7-star raids, so they're like seriously powerful, whatever else. And I think this is definitely a repeat. I'm not sure if it's gonna show up on my map again because I just caught it, but not bragging, not pushing it in anyone's face, but I did push some work here on this island that I live on called BarBADian, some gas station work a few months ago, and I'm just pushing it out there that really and truly you cannot expect to be lazy in this life and get anything much at all. Alright, I pushed hours upon hours upon hours. That's how I got this Switch 2. This is a Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, this is a Switch 2, and as well, I wasn't lazy at all. I'm not lazy at all in life or my video games. Alright, so there's this event that Pokemon held. Is infinite actually, as long as Pokemon Home is live and ongoing. If you fill the national debts, and it's going to be very difficult for that when Wells, Winds and Waves comes out. No spoilers, but really and truly, if you can get around to that, I'll explain how and what I did. My boxes do look like truly messy because of that. Like, I had to upload a bunch across like the on Home as well, just so that I could have enough space to continue catching and evolving and stuff like that. So this is it here. I did name it after the island that I'm from because really and truly my island literally is a blue, yellow and black, and a trident in the middle. Although the trident is black and is not black here, but I definitely do name these after Barbados or Barbados because it's Los Barbados, the bearded fig tree. So why do people pronounce it as Barbados? It's Bados. Come on, it's bad. Don't want to say bad in the name, but I do find it weird though that whenever you finish the Tera raids, they actually leave it as though they're like fainted. You can see there it has 1 HP, so off. But yeah, just pressed ZL by mistake. Alright, so that and this. So in order to get this, anybody could get this. This isn't something that, like some events that were unique and whatever only lasted until like 2022, I think, was the Volcanion event. That's a legendary from the X and Y games that never officially released until later down the road. And Yeah, so Volcanion you can get in Sword and Shield 2022. That expired in 2022, the correct word is, but this is something that's definitely ongoing. So I'm gonna jump over to my Pokemon Home. I'm just gonna save here again. Habitual. Well, yeah, it didn't show the mark, didn't I? I just saved at least. So you can see right here, right? I'm gonna point that little purple mark up there. That's the Mightiest Mark logo. And these things do come with perfect stats. It's not EV trained as yet. No yellow bars. Although I did push this a lot in defense and special attack. But you can actually see here it says best all around, that full circle, all these stats best. When you get the Mightiest Mark Pokemon. I'm going to jump over to my 28. Alright. So these are a bunch that I got, and I just lined them off. I started lining them off. You can see they're all Mightiest Mark, including these. Like, this was awesome for me, man. Like, there was some issue or something where you couldn't join if someone wanted to play with you and like do the Tera raid Mightiest Mark for when they did the Roaring Moons, and they just released the second event that fits the issue. So I got two of them instead of one, and then one Blood Moon and the other was Eclipsed. Awesome, right? Yeah, so let's just go and jump out here. I just saved the game, and yeah, so what really happens here is the game itself, the app itself, has its own decks, and whenever you upload Pokemon onto Pokemon Home, right? Whenever you upload Pokemon onto this app, oh my god! So this is an app that does this, because I'm using the boost mode. The Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Switch boost mode. Alright, so let me see. I'm gonna go back to my I'm gonna have to remove him. Hopefully I can do that without, oh god, without causing this to like collapse, because this stand is very powerful, but I have it like, just so that this could be as upright as possible, I have this stand like barely nudging before closing, if you get what I mean when I say it like that. Let me see, I think I nudged it to the right quite a bit. I think that should be good there. Yeah. All right. So this app now, yeah, I still can't connect it that way. There's some games that can. I found that I could still sync my controller whilst the Joy-Con is in. Like, some games you can literally just use a second Pro controller, but these are programmed as a Pro controller now, these Joy-Con too. So it just conflicts a bit, and I have to take them off the system. I keep forgetting that, but I'm not sure which apps react this way as yet, because, you know, this is still a kind of new feature that they released for the system. Alright, so logging in, hurry up. Hopefully it didn't cause an issue like leaving the app whilst it was logging in, because I think it was logging in, wasn't it? Alright, so 2,932, I know. Alright, so the Pokédex itself, alright. So all Pokemon, I practically fill just about everything. But they do give you a break though, like you don't have to attain, you don't have to see every single legendary, because I think I don't have a Zarude, and I was like freaking out about that, because I think that's an event that is like gone, long gone. So there's all the way through Gen 1. Yep, definitely all the way. That was Gen 1. Gen 1 ends right here with Mew, then it starts Gen 2 here with the Gen 2 starters. Alright, so what you do is, what I did, you take every species that you can from the separate games, alright, and you take them and say you have a Venusaur, alright, or you start as a Bulbasaur. I just pressed all the way to the bottom. Picture is the last still yet until we get Gen 9 released. This is the final. Alright, 1025. Oh my god, over 1,000 Pokemon already. Alright, so Bulbasaur. Alright, so I would upload this Bulbasaur to say I start with the starters. I would upload Bulbasaur, and Charmander and Squirtle. Alright? Then I'll take them back, evolve them once, only once. If it's a Pokemon that can evolve 2 times, because this would be one evolution and this would be the second evolution. Alright? So these aren't things I think I should have to detail, but you know, everyone, you know, I'm thinking about the fact everyone doesn't think the same way. Some people do need the details explained to them, and that's what I'm making this video for. So then I'll upload take them back to the game then, after placing them on bank, you know, evolve them into their second evolution. So then Ivysaur, Charmeleon, and Wartortle. Then upload them to bank, take them back and put them into the game again, so that I can evolve them into their final evolutions. That's Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. The same goes for every other Pokemon. It could take some time, so there's some apps you can get. There's something called Data Debts. This is available for just about anybody on the Google Play Store. I think it's on iOS as well. It's called Data Debts, DATA Debts, and it's very useful. You could actually like choose any game and see what Pokemon is. Just the other day I had some new update. I just saw an update for it, and I do keep my apps up to date, so it's still ongoing, up to Z8 right now. So it's very recent. It has everything. You can choose the game, and then you can choose which generation. So this is generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, all the way to 8, and it's going to be updated with 9 when that releases. Believe it or not, this is a really good app. So you can use that and see what the exact debts is for each whatever game you have. The most useful right now, I would say, is Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl when it comes to debts filling, because Sword and Shield have got a lot of Pokemon missing. A lot of these do not exist in Sword. A lot of them do not exist in Scarlet. They're like all over the place. But Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl have Pokemon. I'll show you what I mean. This is Gen 1, alright? So that's Gen 1. I already showed you this is Gen 2 here that I'm going through. This is Gen 3. All the way to Gen 4. All of these Pokemon that I'm going through right here. Till this one. Till actually, till Arceus exists in Brilliant Diamond. So all of this is in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Very useful game. People, you know, don't just shun a game or a product because everyone says they hate it. It might actually be the very thing that saves your arse. Alright? Saves you from confusion. Alright? So you can then, if you have that game, it's going to be very useful for that. Gen 5 after 4. Alright? So after Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, I'd say that majority of the Gen 5 Pokemon exist in Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, which is surprising to me. Alright, mostly Scarlet and Violet. They made sure that all these would be the weirdest Pokemon in all of the series. I definitely do have to say, from Pokemon Black / Pokemon White or in Scarlet and Violet, they even made a decent reference to the game. I think the Blueberry Academy is actually a subsidiary of the Unova region. Alright, so yeah, so I think I explained enough, and you know, you can think for yourself and complete each. Alright, so I have, let's see me go back. I just went to all. So Kanto, yup, completed. Johto, completed. Hoenn is Gen 3. Alright, then Sinnoh, complete. I still have some to get in Vision for this app. This is Gen 5 right here. Alright, so these are these Pokemon, the game that these come from, is what is next in line for remake after Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I'm so excited for those. We're possibly going to have some sort of an update on the Gen 5 remakes after Winds and Waves releases. That's the usual. Whenever a new generation releases, then the remake comes after, because we had X and Y, then we had the remake for this region, Gen 3 on 3DS. That's years ago. Alright, so Gen 6. This Pokemon here is something else to attain at all. I'm not sure what I did with it. I think I have it somewhere. I'm not sure if it's on my Sword and Shield, if it's on I've got a I've got to somehow I mean, it's in my decks here somehow, alright? Somehow, like hell. I don't know how, because I'm not... I do have one, I think. Alright? So, these are extremely difficult to get. And this isn't me, again, bragging. This is me saying you don't have to worry about these. I found that surprising, because when I get past, that is 6, this is 7. Yep. Even these, I've got a bunch of these. These are Aura. That's Gen 7 now. That's Sun and Moon, Nintendo 3DS. This is what started the 3DS. This is X, Y, and here, alright. These I do not have like deposited into Home. I'm gonna do that because I'm now, you know, playing through. I was kind of late to the Nintendo Switch party, I do have to admit. I've had these games for years, but you know, like I said, I was working back to back for months. Double shift, triple shift, all over the place. I wasn't at, you know, but I did play the games, but I'm still playing through Sword right now, and I'm now catching these Reggies and stuff like that. I think this was from a trade only. I didn't upload my own as yet, but these I still have to catch. Yearwood is practically unobtainable unless you've got a friend that is like really, really you know, will help you out there. So Hisui, this is yeah, these are the unique to that region Pokemon. I think this is all of them, I'm not sure. Yeah. And Paldea, this is Gen 9. Yeah, this is Gen 9. Once Gen 10 comes out, right? Gen 10 next. This is Gen 9. This is Scarlet and Violet. So you don't have to attain every legendary, as you could have seen there. I am missing some literally for Gen 8. From here, they're not uploaded to this because I didn't like pass these. You can gather these from the actual DLC story, but this one, Yearwood, is quite a bit. No worries about that. And yeah, so after this, Unknown Origins, yeah, you get these officially when you first use Home. You get these like right off the bat, so no need to worry about that. This one is a Gigantamax Pokemon, and this one is, yeah. So it's easier. It could take people a few months, because it did take me a few months, to be honest. Like finishing every game. Let's see, there are research tasks for each game as well. So all you need is at least a Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, a Sword or Shield, Legends Arceus, and yeah. So it could take time for just about anybody, but it's definitely worth it, because I was struggling with this thing. This Empoleon is crazy in Scarlet and Violet. That was crazy, because what happens is when you're doing it solo, that Empoleon had at least in the Tera raid. I didn't check just now. Maybe I should have. I'm gonna jump out and back into this game again. The competitive ability, it seems like, if whenever it starts lowered, instead of staying lowered, it raises its stats, you know, like being all competitive in spirit, that sort of stuff. All right, so if you're in the raid and you know, there's some auto CPU automatic like spawned computers that help you out if you're playing alone, and some of them have intimidate, obviously, and if they faint, it goes, and they return in again, they're going to intimidate it again, and every time they do that, this Empoleon would get some free stat boost, and it's crazy. You have to reset, you have to leave the Tera raid, come back again, and hope that an intimidator isn't in there. That was one issue. Then this thing is just strong as hell. The game, I'd definitely say it cheats here and there, because it's like it's purposely giving you like doing critical hits on you, different things, you know, like moves that are hitting harder than usual, stuff like that. So let me go here in summary. Yeah, competitive, boost the Pokemon's special attack starts sharply when its stats are lowered by an opposing Pokemon. Yeah, definitely problematic in Tera raids. You'd have to reset and reset and reset. Hope a Tauros isn't in there, or an Arcanine, or anything else of the sort. But this made it horribly easy. So what I did, I just started. As soon as the match starts, you use Calm Mind 2 times. 1, 2. Even if you're getting hit, by the time you finish your second Calm Mind, the Empoleon isn't going to be doing much damage. After that, you just spam away on this move, Flash Cannon. Alright, so what Flash Cannon does sometimes is lower the special defense. And if you realize that it got a competitive boost and is killing you or something, just reset. And it isn't going to be, you know, it could take you about an hour or so just because of those damn intimidates. Anytime you see an intimidating Pokemon stepping in, like a Tauros, that black Tauros, I'll show you what I mean so you would know what to look for. So I'm just going to bring up my Pokedex. And let's see, where is Tauros in here, man? It's got to be somewhere near, please. Alright, there's got to be a way to, so much dying Pokemon, I know, right? Come on, why couldn't Tauros be at the tippy top of the decks, alright? So there's going to be Tauros, there's going to be... Alright, so the easiest way for me to do this, I'm wasting time, honestly. No, I'm just going to go into my boxes, go to search, and, yeah. No, species, and the letter T. So if you see this Pokemon right here, it should be in the list, yeah. If you see one of these, yeah, Paldean, I don't have a Cantonian on here, never had a reason to bring Cantonian. If you see one of these show up in your team, run, just look for run in the menu and start again. Also, if you see one of these, not B, A, yeah. If you see one of these, you could definitely go and run again. I do have one for sure, so I have one here. Alright, if you see one of these in your team, run, because it has Intimidate and it's boosting that thing to hell and it's just going to kill you easily anyways. So just run and start the raid again until you see none of them in there. I think Haxorus as well, I'm not sure. I think so though, I don't think, I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm going to show you one more that I think does possibly sometimes boost that thing's stats to hell. This is a shiny that I sent over from my Black 2. It's like automatic shiny. They've been so generous in that generation that there's an area that you reach in the game and it's just standing up in there no matter who you are. Once you have a copy of Black 2 or White 2 and you go to that area, you get a shiny Haxorus. Really awesome. But if you see one of these, it's not going to be black in the party. The CPU helper is not going to have a black one like this. But if you see one of these, so you can see here, it seems to have traveled across space and time to join me from the Universe region. And my trainer's name there was Ash. I named myself after the, you know, some of us do that. The main trainer in the TV series. So 46843 was my ID. Yeah. Alright, so unless you see those, you don't see those in your party. I think you'd see like you'd see other Pokemon, let's just say that. Alright, and you just keep spamming that Flash Cannon, and at some point you're going to see something saying that it removed all the stat changes on your Pokemon. And you see that, as soon as you see that, use Calm Mind again 2 times. Do not hesitate. Use Calm Mind 2 times, and when you use Calm Mind again 2 times, that is, you know, this move here, you then go ahead and use Flash Cannons again, and that's it. Done. Rinse and repeat, because this thing has a weird ability. You see Soul Heart, like right here. It says boost the Pokemon special attack stat every time another Pokemon faints, and your helpers are always fainting. They're like total shit. So you just see Soul Heart showing up on your screen all the time. You're getting special attack. And at some point, because you use Calm Mind as well, Calm Mind also raises special attack, you're gonna be beastly, like literally. You're just gonna be tearing through that thing's health, and it's done from there. All right. So you could be ways away from this, and I'm not sure, but I do think Nintendo, possibly the Pokemon company, actually possibly might recycle all the starters from scratch from the beginning all the way through. There's some that I missed because I was late to the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet party, you know, by a year or so, a few years, right? So I missed a good few of them, but if they do restart those, by then you could possibly have this awesome Pokeball form, Magearna. All right. So I just showed you how I went into home. I explained the system. There's some Pokemon that you do only get from trade. So I'm going to show you something else as well. I'm going to jump to a different game, and then I'm going to end this episode off for sure. Alright? So I'm saving again. I do save, although I didn't do much in the game. I could just jump out. I do have this as a digital in my system, thankfully. So let's just go over here, and I'm going to show you something very useful. Alright? So this saves you if you're someone who doesn't have Nintendo Switch Online. You have no ways of trading, although you can upload Pokemon on using the Pokemon Home and wait for somebody to take your trade, but that is definitely not gonna help out at all in this case. All right, so I pretty much completed majority of the story, but there's nothing too spoiler hungry right here. All right, oh my god. Oh my freaking gosh. I'm just gonna use this is the first raid Pokemon you get anyways in the, where the hell am I? To be honest, I don't wanna, you know, I hate being like lacking of spoiler sensitive. You know, a lot of people hate spoilers, but you no need to worry about that with me. Alright? You know, just making it just reassuring for you right here. All right, so what happens is there are, he's gonna ask me, yeah, I do have a few to speak to the professor about, see if I can get those reported at least. Yeah, I was catching some Pichu. Trying to get the debts filled for that species at least. Alright, so this is going to be very useful. No skipping the video, although this is very close to the end. Alright, yeah. End of this video upload, because as I plan to record, I should say. Thank you. Alright, so there are these items. You can see there's one right here, and these lost satchel, stuff like that. And if I go out and I go in here, there's a lot in here. All right, so you collect these, you run around and you find these wherever they are, and when you collect enough, all right, you get a bunch of points. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go here, and you can see I have let's see where, because I didn't do it in a while though, like, but you get points for them, right? These points are used in this little area here in the village. I'm gonna go back to the village now, and Jubilee Village, yes please. This is switch 2, so it shouldn't be taking that long for loading. Shouldn't be. All right, there we are. I'm gonna dash myself across here, and there's a lady over here. She has you can also use her services for trading, but if you're not trading, you don't have access to that Nintendo Switch Online. I want to get items, and you can see at the top there, right at the top up there, I have 6,385. I did a lot of running around, and you get these for 1,000 each. Linking card: a string exuding a mysterious energy that makes you feel a strange sense of connection. It's loved by certain Pokemon. So Pokemon like Machamp, if you Machoke and stuff like that only evolve through trade, you could actually send them through home, through Pokemon Home, and you know, if you're someone you don't pay for the Pokemon Home service at all either, you actually get one free box. You get a box free that you can just put Pokemon in. It take you way longer to get even the decks filled and stuff like that, maybe, because you can't just drop a bunch in that you want and then take them back and do what you want. But it's you can actually still drop your Pokemon in there and then choose a different game and pick them up and put them in that game and place them into your Pokemon Legends. So you do need this game as well if you wanna speed on through filling your decks for the Pokemon Home. And this linking card here you could use to evolve your Pokemon that do need to trade to evolve. It acts as though they're being traded, as the solo way to do it. And I was so impressed when I found out that this is something that, you know, the Pokemon company did, because a lot of people had that issue and it made their games it was impossible to complete their games without that. Something that I want to show though for people who don't know, if you have the saved data from Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, where's my dying house? I think it's right here, like right next to they kept a close watch on you, quite so I just go here and the modern jacket, and yeah, everything else that is, you know, modern trousers and the modern shoes and the hat as well. Yeah, my bad. Cervicors cap. I just take it off actually. So this is for those of you who are like Pokemon and you know, finish changing. Yes, please. This is what that guy, you know, the main villain, the main boss of the Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl games, he wears this outfit. This is his official. No spoilers. You'll see if you if you play the game yourself. Alright. Kind of awesome that this exists in this game at all. They've done things like this. Quite awesome. And they went through majority of the game in these clothes, and then they used the official kimono that you get, you know, in this village. So that's it though. That's it. I'm gonna save my game here as well. Yup. Yeah, like I said, dang it. But you can see I've got 9th star. I only got 1 more star to get for this game. Alright. So that's it though. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like, comment as well. And that subscribe button should be saying follow. I believe YouTube should change that to say follow, because all you're doing is following. There's no paid service needed. All you're doing is following my channel, and when I do upload a new video, it would be sent to your device, whichever, as a notification, that you can stay updated. Alright. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whenever and wherever you're watching. This has been Mr. Pokemon 907. Until next upload, thank you for watching.